Welcome to the Medium in the Middle podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie, the Medium in the Middle. On this podcast, I share my journey as a developing psychic medium, as a Reiki master teacher, as an Akashic record practitioner, and anything else that's thrown my way. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 133. My name is Stephanie. I am the medium in the middle. I can't believe it's almost the end of June. Well, it is the end of June. June just seemed to have flown by, but time is a psychic experience. It does not exist. Anyways, jumping into today's episode, this is going to be almost a part 2 to episode 131, 22 Things I Learned in Business. I didn't actually get to 22 things because it's very hard to think of them all at once. So I got asked a really cool question on Instagram, and I wanted to give it its full episode because I have a lot to say. And the question was, as you can probably see of the title of this podcast, what are the top 5 things to do before you open your business? Now, I am going to be specifically talking about like a spirituality online business, because if you were opening a brick and mortar, that is different. But I'm going to share with you what I've learned, because I have learned a lot. I have an in-person business. I have an online business. It has grown drastically. My first year of business, I timed 6 my revenue from the year before. And the year before I was only part-time, but still, it was pretty insane. So I'm going to share with you what I've learned over the years to hopefully help you out so you don't have to go through the same struggles that I did. So the only announcements that I have to start this off is July Reiki trainings are available. There is still a Reiki Level 1 available July 9th and 10th. This is the first time ever a Reiki training has not sold out. So if you still want to join, there is space for you next weekend. And I've done this course dozens and dozens and dozens of times. So I'm really excited to do it again. And then there is a level 2 at the end of July. If you are one of my Reiki students who have been waiting to take level 2, there is one there. I know the world is open again and people have plans on the weekends. So if the weekends work for you, that is wonderful. If not, there will always be future Reiki trainings. I'm not sure what August Reiki trainings are going to look like yet, because I'm doing Reiki Masters in August, but they will be back in September for sure. And I just wanted to reflect for a moment on being on episode 133. Soon I will be hitting my 3 years in podcasting, which is insane. For so long, I was releasing every Tuesday. Now we live on Wednesdays, and it's just surreal almost that I have been on this mic for 3 years. I have been recording podcasts since March of 3 years ago. So in August, I will be doing a big celebration for that. But as every time I release a new episode and I see the numbers, I'm like, holy moly, 133 episodes. So thank you if you've been here since the beginning. Thank you if you are here now. Thank you if you've binged this podcast. It's so much of my voice. And I appreciate all of you listeners. I appreciate the messages, the DMs, the emails. It really does not go unnoticed. I am still just a girl sitting in a little office recording this for you. And I still have very big plans for this podcast. I know one day it will be sponsored, but for now I am happy to donate my time to this podcast. So for this week's card pull, I am going back to the original, the OG Colette Baron Reid Enchanted Map deck. And whenever I shuffle, I always ask, what do the listeners need to know right now? And when I say right now, I mean whenever you listen to this podcast episode. So whether it's right when it releases or if it's months from now, it's always wonderful to see how the messages land whenever you listen to this podcast. So I pulled card number 9, Storm Fields. This too shall pass. An uncomfortable chaos is surrounding you. Things that you've left unattended may be the cause of some conflict. Pent-up energy needs release, just as a storm in nature must break. For these events occur when the electricity between opposing forces stirs things up and creates temporary disorder. Not all storms are destructive. Rather, they serve nature by bringing rain to the ground and wind to the trees, enabling seeds to be widely distributed and continuous growth to be ensured. Just remember that whatever is being stirred up inside you or between you and another will benefit you later. The sun will shine again and new growth will be observed. Don't be afraid to shake things up a little. Ooh. This resonates for me, so I hope it resonates for you. Card number 9, Stormfields. As always, I do post the cards on Instagram. If you don't already follow me at Medium in the Middle on Instagram, on Facebook, you can see a lot more content than what I post on just the podcast. We have a lot of fun over there. I teach a lot, help you with your spiritual development, do funny things on my stories. So I'll leave all those links down below in the show notes, as well as the link to register for the Reiki courses or to my website. Speaking of Instagram, there are a lot of Instagram scams out right now. I wanted to remind everybody that I only have one account at Medium in the Middle, and I will never, ever, ever DM you for a reading. I don't do readings for money. I have a website for that. I will never ask for PayPal or Cash App or for you to email a random name that isn't mediuminthemiddle@gmail.com some money. So please just use your intuition. Be aware that there are a lot of scam accounts in the spiritual community. No one will ever DM you for money. No one will ever say, "Hello, my precious, I was drawn to your name. I want to read you." Text message or email or phone call for this price and this price. We all have websites that we've paid a lot of money to function so that you can click and book. So please, if you find any of these accounts, I don't need to be notified. I know they exist. There's nothing I can do. Just report and block them. It's unfortunately just part of the world we live in today. Happens to a lot of people. So never send money over Instagram. Okay, let's jump into it. The 5 things that I would say to do before you open your business. And this was hard because how do you pick 5? So if you haven't already listened to the episode where I broke down everything I've learned in the past 2+ years in business, go back 2 episodes and listen to that one because there was a lot of things that really, really apply to this. But this episode is about things to do before you start your business. And I'm going to share my number 1 biggest tip that I think is what made my business take off. And the number 1 is have an audience. You need someone to sell to. And you also need to be providing value before sales. So I really think that I have the success that I have because for the first year of the podcast, I sold nothing. There was nothing you could buy from me. I didn't have online sessions. I didn't have meeting in the middles. I wasn't mentoring at that time. I had nothing. And it's funny because people listen back to episode 1, and when they're on around episode 24, I start to get DMs being like, "Oh my gosh, I would love a session from you if you ever do them. Oh, I'd love mentoring from you." Now I'm like, yeah, I do that. I'm on episode 133, so now I do. But back at episode 1 to probably 50 something, I didn't sell my audience anything. So when I opened the floodgates to sell, it was just everyone was buying one of everything. Oh, you're doing distance Reiki? I'll do that. Oh, now you're doing Akashic Records? Okay, I'll do that. Oh, you're doing Reiki level 1 now? Okay, I'll do that. Oh, now you're doing Reiki level 2? Okay, I'll do that. Oh, now you're doing PSYCH-K? Okay, I'll try that. And it was just like everyone was trying everything, because for a year you were listening to my story and you were following along with me, and I'm in your ears and I'm your friend that you don't know and never met before, but you know me. So there's like this connection that was formed. And I think that is my biggest thing, is that you need to have an audience. So figure out who you're selling to. Know who you're selling to. And when they're there and you've been providing them value for a long time, as soon as you start to sell, they just eat it up. And I also see people like trying to sell things without an audience. And to me, that's wasted energy. Grow your audience, be yourself, talk about things, share things for free, share your struggles, share your wins. Do a lot of just authentic connecting, and then sell. Because yes, it takes a lot of time and energy. You need to create things and all of that, but you also just need to create that trust first. So my tip number 1 is have an audience before you start. Figure that out, because you need someone to buy from your business. So number 2, and this is like very personal. So this is like what I did. And again, I'm a Capricorn. I'm a Libra double cap. So this will probably explain this, but set monetary goals. So this is for 2 reasons. Number 1, this helps you for manifesting, obviously. Got to know what you want, how much you want, when you're getting it. And it also helps you to know what you're working towards. And it also helps you to know what you need to stay afloat. So for example, before I went full-time in my business, I figured out how much money I need to make in order to stay open and how I would make that. So, for example, this is actually what I used. I used to be a server, and I was like, okay, on average, I make about $100 a day in tips. Yes, some days you make $300. Yes, some days you make $60. But on average, I just need about $100 a day. If I make $100 a day in tips, for my 4 or 5 hour shift. So when it came time to my business, it was just like, okay, well, what do I want? Well, I want $100 a day. Like, that's ideal. Okay, so what is that? Well, if my sessions are $95, that's one session. Okay, so I want one session booked a day. That's my goal. One session booked a day. Now I know what I'm working towards. Now I know what to manifest. Now I know what I need to, stay functioning. So that was very, very helpful. And especially like knowing when it was time to move, as soon as it got more than that, I was like, okay, well, can I now be making more than I'm making going to work? And that's how I figured out to move to full time. But that's another story. So number 3, and I feel like I've seen a lot of people do this wrong, is number 3 is start promoting. Start hyping it up. I've noticed that hype is like so underrated and so not used. Like, promote before you open. Get people excited. Talk about it forever. Like, get people so excited to book and to have that opportunity to work with you and to know when you're opening, that they're just like, oh my God, when are they open? Again, I hate to go back to Skims, but just the only marketing I'm seeing right now for some reason. She had so much hype, and I just realized that like until recently you couldn't even buy her products. But there was like a month-long hype until, finally the website is launching. And that was such a good idea, because by then it's like, oh my God, I need this. I need to buy it. You need to do that with your own business. And I find a lot of people like keep things secret, and like, yes, keep things secret until your lease is signed. Keep things secret until, you have all your ducks in a row. You have all your legalities in a row. You have your business name. But as soon as you have information, start leaking it, start talking about it, start hyping it up. Even if you have nothing to say, even if you don't even know when launch is, like, watch this space coming soon. So excited. Can't wait for Medium in the Middle. Can't wait for this. Oh my God. Can't wait to share this with you guys. I have found, even now with launches, If I hype up a Reiki course for 2 weeks, my next Reiki level 1's coming. Stay tuned for when the date's dropping. Next week, level 1's opening again. Get on the wait list. You want to know when it's coming. In 3 days, doors are opening to my next level 1. Today's the day. Go grab your spot before they're all gone. You better believe that is how I started selling out my trainings in 24 hours. 2 weeks of hype. Open the doors, 24 hours, I was sold out. That's my biggest secret. Now, when I I'm full, I gotta, launch a course, nobody cares, they don't sell out as quickly. There's no hype. So number 3 is hype is the biggest promotion I feel you could do. And as soon as you can start leaking information, start. Don't hold it like a secret. Don't be like, oh, I'm opening tomorrow. No. Even if you were opening tomorrow, I would wait a week to open, to hype it up for a week. The number 4 is be clear on what you need to open. Be clear on what is a necessity and what you would want / what would be nice. So this kind of links to start before you are ready. But for example, for me, what did I need to start? I needed a book now button. Did I need my website to be perfect? No. Did I need my about me section to be perfect? No. Did I need every picture on my website to be perfect? No. Did I need my color scheme and fonts perfect? No. I needed a book now button. That's what I needed. What I wanted and what would be nice is a whole nother list, but be very clear on what you need to open. What do I need to start? Do I need a website? Do I need a link in bio? Do I need a book now button? Do I need a booking system? Do I need to accept payments? How am I accepting payments? Because then you have a to-do list of what you're working towards. Then you're like, okay, bam, bam, bam. This is what I need. This is how I need to get it done. This is, by when I need to get it done. And when you're opening in 2 weeks, that's when you need to have it done by. And I would say the last thing of things to do before you open your business is financially prepare. And I've heard a lot of different things about financially preparing, but depending on what your business is, know what to expect, know what your expenses are, know what your income is. And something that I always did was plan for the worst. What's my worst case scenario? I get no bookings this week. Okay, well, I'm going to pick up shifts at the restaurant. Okay, perfect. What's my best case scenario? I'm fully booked. Okay, great. So I always financially prepared for the worst. I also did not invest a lot of money into my business until I was making money in my business. So I've always been, I guess, kind of safe in that way where I'm not going to dump thousands of dollars that I don't have into a website just to have a nice professional website. I will figure out how to create a website before I spend money. So the good thing is that at the beginning you have time and you don't have a lot of money. So you're going to learn to do things to save you from spending on it. And this was a huge thing for me. I learned how to do everything instead of paying someone to do it. Again, is that the best business advice? I don't know. I only know what I did. You could have had more success if you went into a bunch of debt to hire professionals to do all these things properly the first time. But it was also a huge learning experience for me. And as the CEO, as the boss, as someone running the company, I want to know how to do all of those things. I also want to know that there are professionals out there who can do it far better than I. But I want some idea of every working of my business. So I know what I'm handing off. What do I need a professional for? Why I can't do certain things. Because sometimes you need to convince yourself that, yes, you do need to pay someone else to do this. So just being financially prepared for your worst case scenario. And then obviously you manifest the best. But that really helped me. And with that $100 a day mentality, I started to get savvy. I'm like, okay, well, if I don't make $100 this day, what if I make $200 today? Okay, that counts for today and tomorrow. And what if I make $300 tomorrow? Okay, that counts for the next 3 days. So it kind of gave me more time to figure out how else can I make $100 a day. And at that time, I was also teaching yoga. So, if I taught 2 yoga classes and if I also picked up a shift at the restaurant, and I was just always playing with that $100 a day mark. Now, obviously, your goals grow and grow and grow, but that was my bare minimum survival rate. of like, this is what I need to like pay rent, pay my bills, put food in my belly. And if I can do this, then the rest is easy. So those are what I would say the top 5 things to do before you open your business. Number 1, have an audience. You need someone to sell to. That's just obvious. Number 2, set monetary goals. Know where you're going. Number 3, start promoting. Hype some more. Be your biggest hype queen, king. Just hype it up. I think I said number 3, but that was number 3. Number 4, be very clear on what you need to open. What is necessary to open / what do you want, what would be nice to open. Those are 2 separate lists. There's a want and there's a need list. Be clear on that list. And number 5, financially prepare. Prepare for the worst. We're manifesting for the best, but know what you need. So this is separate from your goals, right? This isn't like what I want to hit. It's like, what do I actually need to stay afloat? And then what do I need to be doing outside of my business that if my business isn't bringing in $100 a day, what are my other options? So I didn't let go of all my other options until the business was so busy and I was making more money in the business than in all my other jobs combined that I was like, I'm dumb to be wasting my time at these other jobs where I could be working in my business making way more money. So that was the point where you're like, why am I doing this? So I hope you found that interesting. I would love to hear what other people's are. Like, it would be interesting for every entrepreneur to think about this or just to be, mindful of it, because I don't think anyone's 5 things to do before you open your business are going to be the same. Everyone's list is going to be unique for this because it's your own experience. It's through your own lens. It's what you thought you needed. Like, mine's I don't know much about astrology, but I can just probably tell that mine's very Capricorn. And I'm sure all the astrologers listening to this are laughing along with me right now, being like, oh, Steph, you double cap. You would have 3 about money and manifesting and, making plans and writing lists. And that's what I have this week, everybody. Thanks for listening. Again, all the links you need to book with me, to book a Reiki course, are all down below in the show notes. If you haven't already, please leave the podcast a rating and a review. It really helps me grow this baby. And we are coming up to 3 years. Incredible. So please, please, please leave a review if you have been listening and you have not left a review yet. That is all I have for this week. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next Wednesday in your ears. Bye, everybody.